What's going on, guys? Gaston right here, and I do have more information regarding the Sony FX3. My source just poured another chunk of information that I want to share with you. Fasten your seatbelt. Here we go. Welcome back to the channel, guys. Gaston right here, and let's talk about the Sony FX3. And the information that I'm going to be sharing right now addresses a lot of the questions that you guys been posting in my prior videos. But before we continue, once again, let me remind you that I'm giving away a brand new Xeon Crane 2S right here in the channel. All you have to do to enter is simply read the rules. It's actually free. I'm going to be announcing the winner on April 5th, worldwide entry, so good luck to all of you guys. All right, so I have my phone right here because after all the many comments that I got from you guys, I actually pressed my source to deliver a little bit more of information, and I'm actually reading my own comments. So one of the things that I sent, this is literally, people are drilling me over text. They want to know if the body has headphone jack, mic input, HDMI or SDI, dual card slot, ND filters, correct? And this is what he says. Exactly the same thing as the Sony A7S III. So we have a full-size HDMI on the body. We are not going to have SDI. That's actually a bummer. We are going to have a 3.5mm jack on the body of the camera, and also we're going to have a 3.5mm on the handle. I'm understanding that this is going to be on the handle itself, not on the XLR module, because the XLR module also has a 3.5, and it would actually make a lot of sense, because if you don't have the need for XLR modules, why you have to connect an XLR module to connect the 3.5. Makes a lot of sense, because otherwise you would have to rig up a cable from the top of the handle where the microphone is going to be installed all the way to the camera, kind of like a long cable. This way you can actually use, let's say, a Rode microphone with a tiny cable and be done with it. Remember, the top handle is going to have internal connectivity through the hot shoe mount, so there are not going to be need for wires of things actually being installed on the top handle into the camera, which is really, really good. We're also going to have a headphone jack on the body, and we're also going to have dual CF Express Type A cards. We kind of like hinted at, and we figured that out. Now, the one thing that he confirms is that there are no ND filters in the camera. And once again, this is actually a bummer, because if there was a reason why I would have considered the Sony FX3 was because ND filters. It would have been great to have variable ND filters like the FX6, right? And I think that's kind of like one of the most useful features, in my opinion, for someone like myself that has been shooting with mirrorless and actually adapts a bunch of ND filters to accommodate to the situation, but no ND filters. Also, I am getting that the camera, once again, is going to do 4K, because I asked him, is it going to have 6K? No, it's going to have 4K, same sensor as the Sony A7S III. So here we go. Once again, this confirms that this camera is going to have the same exact sensor as the Sony A7S III. And in reality, for what I'm hearing right now, it looks like Sony kind of like reboxed the Sony A7S III, made some modifications, and this is what we're getting. Now, let me show you something, because in the last video that I leaked yesterday, there is an image in the video where you can see something similar to the Sony A7C. See that door right there? This is the little door that I'm gonna open it right now. And what we have right there is the the SD card in this camera. This one has one. So I can see, that door being the dual CF Express Type A bay. And what I don't know is where else, those ports are going to be located. Obviously, my source has been dead on, and definitely, it wouldn't make sense for this camera not to have, ports in the body. But I don't know, maybe Sony cramped all the ports in that tiny little space right there. Now, let me show you the Sony A7S III, because I have all the 3 doors open so you can actually appreciate that. And there you go. So as you can see, we have the micro USB connector right there that is for the all accessories, the USB-C as well. We do have the full-size HDMI microphone input and headphone jack. Now, if you take a look at this camera, what we have right here is in reality 3 doors to accommodate all those ports. Now, in the last video that I showed, it only shows one door. So I don't know where those other doors are gonna be. I actually asked for a picture if he would be so kind to send me some more information. And if by the time before I finish this video, you know, I get some more information, images or video, I'm gonna include it in this video and make some annotations. So one of the things that I wanna talk about, guys, is that we also get a confirmation that this camera does have a fan. And this is something that we need to think about it, because the Sony A7S3, you know, that's great with passive cooling system. I've shot with the camera for over 2.5 hours, no problem, no overheating. Also, the Sony A1 does features the same thing, you know, passive cooling system, no overheating. And none of those cameras actually have a grill or vents or exhaust or anything like that. We also saw in the video that I showed last night that we also have vents at the bottom, you know, and on the side of the camera. So I'm assuming, and this is a possibility, that probably Sony is gonna release a firmware update for this camera and perhaps for the FX6, and maybe why not the Sony A7S III, because these cameras have CF Express Type A. And because of that, I can see the camera recording 4K video, maybe 10, 12 bits, you know, internally into the CF Express cards, especially if you're gonna be using them in relay mode. That's gonna give you up to 320 gigabytes, because the max capacity for a single core right now is 160 gigabytes. So this is the next type of information that I receive, guys. If anything else comes in after I finish polishing this video, I'm gonna include it right here. But subscribe to this channel just to continue to stay up to date with the FX3, because I'm gonna be delivering more information as this information becomes available to me, guys. I'll see you in the next one.